So I think I already told you, if you do ls, right, and hit enter, it's what is it doing? It is running that command here. What if you want to run two commands right next to each other? ls, then you have to give semicolon, then you do pwd and hit enter. So it ran the first command and then it ran the second command, right? Now what you could do is you could expand on this, and then you could do echo, and then you could do a host name. Any commands you ever used or learned so far, you could definitely put in here. Then I do echo a little bit, then I do lsblk, then echo. I'm doing echo so that you it gives you a little space there. So the moment I hit enter, all these commands here, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, all the 8 commands ran simultaneously, right? You don't have to just imagine if you want to sit there and run each command, it's going to take time here. So you wrote something and then you run it, it's going to run it here. So what you could do is this kind of automation is called shell script. Okay, you can literally have unlimited amount of commands. You can literally have unlimited commands running from CLI. Okay, so this kind of commands is considered shell scripting. So what you could do is you could have a lot of things done here. I mean, this is just the tip I'm giving you. The reason I'm showing you this is so that you get a good understanding what is happening here. For the script, the moment you put semicolon, it's running it one after another. It's running the script right one after another, because it runs this command and then the CLI grabs the second command, third command, and runs it for you. Okay, so let's see what else we could do here is we could do df-h, and then you could also do echo cat etc fs tab. See, if I hit enter, boom, it's running all those commands simultaneously. Even you could put in init 0 in here. Init 6 is going to restart the computer. See, it ran all those commands and then it's restarting the computer. So you could see how fast that is running, right? When it comes to running a script, it gets really good. I'm not gonna put restart, but you got the idea here what is happening. Okay, so far you good with me, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you take these commands and put it in a file. Okay, so you take these commands and put it in a file. It becomes a bash script. Okay, so from here we're gonna work on bash script. This is the start of bash scripts here. So we're gonna put this in a file and then make it work as a bash script. So I'm gonna log in here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do ls here. So whatever I have here, I'm gonna get rid of this because it shouldn't. So I'm gonna do vi, and then I'm gonna say script. Okay, and then I'm gonna hit enter. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna paste the commands. I'm gonna copy the commands we have here, right? I'm gonna copy these commands here. I'm not gonna copy the init6. Okay, give me 1 second here. Let me just restart this system, okay? So I'm gonna say vi script and hit enter, okay? And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paste all those commands in here, okay? And then I'm gonna save and exit. So what you have to do is if you just type script, it's not gonna run. It's not gonna give anything to us, okay? For the system to understand this is script, okay? So what you have to do is vi script. In here, what you have to do is you have to type pound and exclamation, and then you have to type bin and bash. So what you're doing is system will look at this and then is gonna use these commands in front of it. So it will execute these commands here. Okay, so I'll see what else I'll show you in a second here. So what will happen is if you are say type which bash, so it's gonna go into bin bash here. Okay, so there are two places that the bash file sits here. It sits in user/bin or bin bash. If you go into cd bin and then if you do ls, okay, so ls and grep for bash. So we have a file name here, bash here, okay? This is the file which is executing, which is running it for you here. It's written in the file bash is written in binary, so you won't be able to read it, okay? So let me clear this. So let me go back to my file, vi script. So this part you have to say bin bash, and then it will execute it for you here. So I'll explain you what this is. Okay, so before that, let me copy this part here. So this part in a scripting language, this part is called shebang. If somebody comes up to you and say add shebang to it, that means they're asking you to add a pound sign and a exclamation. That will make it a shebang, that part. And this part is a location of a bash command. Okay, so when you put it together, it's gonna go like this: pound exclamation slash bin slash bash. So this part, the moment you put this part, the file will become a script. So you have to have this. So you have to have this for it to become a script. Okay, everybody with me so far?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
good. So now I have that, and then I put it in a script here. Now this is a good bash script right now. It has become a bash script, okay? Okay, so I'm gonna save and exit. Now what you have to do is you have to check for the permissions. If you do ls-l, the script have to be, what is this here? I want to get rid of this. If you do ls-l, the file x, this is not executable yet. Okay, now remember each time when we were doing the permissions, this file has an option for X here, right? The last part is X, that means execute. Okay, so this file is not executable at this moment here. So if I do, the method for executing the file is slash like this and the script. So it says permission denied. So what you have to do is you have to give the permission chmod 755 script. So if you do ls-l now, the file has become executable now. Okay? So the method of executing a file is you have to do a period and a slash and the script. Okay, this is the moment you run this, the system will start reading the file, then it will execute all these commands in there. Okay, so before that, let me copy this. Okay, so what happened here is I'm gonna put down here I'm gonna put down here so before that what I'll do is method of executing the script file. So what is the method? If you want to execute the file here, you have to, this is the method you have to do, a period, a slash, and the name of the file. And then you have to give the file must have a execute permission, okay? Permission, the script file must have execute permission. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to give the execute permission here. Okay, now the file is executable. Okay, so we heard about execution of the file here. Now it's coming into play now. Is there a way I could highlight this? Let's see, style, plugin. Yeah, I cannot highlight this here. Well, you got the idea, right? The X makes it executable permission, okay? All right, so I've talked about it. Now let's execute the file. Execute the file, okay? Execute the script, okay? Going forward, it's a script, not a file anymore. So when I do this here, everything from the file, everything inside this file, the commands that, can you go on mute, please? So all these commands should run here, okay? Watch. See, all the command ran. All the command that you put it in the file here, it ran for you, okay? So it did the script, and why is it showing script? Because the very first command here is ls, then pwd, then echo. When you do echo and nothing in front of it, it becomes a blank line, okay? Then you did the host name and you did echo, it's blank, okay? So, and then followed by lsblk, which is right here, and then echo again, that means a blank file, so that you could see it visually better, and dhf and df-h, our favorite command. So it ran that command, and then it gave a space here, and then it did cat etc fstab. Okay, any questions? Okay, good, no questions. So what will happen here is all the commands in the file will run. Okay, just put it like that. So if I run this script here, if I do this here, what is this gonna do? Anybody? So if you wanted to put the output here, you don't want to see it in the screen, you want to put it into some external files, you run this, and then it will create a file for you, and then it will put what is supposed to be on the screen. It goes into this file here. Okay, see all the output of the file, it went in there. If you want to redirect the content of the output to a file, okay, you run this here, output.txt will hold the redirected, will hold the output from the script. All right, this is it. So we have a basic script here. Okay. Okay, so if you do ls, so the script has few things here. So at your work, how do you know a file is a script? Usually what you do is you have to give like some kind of extension here, .sh. Okay, so normally extension is not necessary for your file here, but you could definitely give any extension anything to it, so that your co-workers and anybody who's using the system when you're not there, they would understand that this file is a script file. Okay, so how would that work? What you could do is, let me create a file name vi. I'm gonna say template .sh or scr, anything would work. So what I'm gonna do is, in here I'm gonna give the shebang bin bash. Okay, I'm gonna get out of here, I'm gonna save, and no, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in here. This is a blank template. So if you do ls-l, it didn't do anything. So I'm gonna go ahead and change the permissions here.